Hey, Ignite Youth, Pastor Aaron here, and I am so excited for what this year has in store. The interns and I worked hard over the summer to make a great year for you guys. But first, you might be thinking, well, how am I seeing you right now? Well, guess what? Our podcast has now went up on YouTube. So in addition to you being able to listen to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Music, you can now watch a visual version of our podcast on YouTube. It's going to be great. I'm still learning how to do all this, but I am looking forward to how this is going to benefit you and I to walk closer and be more Christ-like in our lives. So if you haven't had a chance, go on over to our website, fbcdrumheller.com, go to the youth page, download our event calendar so you can get well versed with our events schedules so you can see what's coming up. You can plan, you can invite friends. It's going to be great. Our first event, September 15th, this Sunday at the Badalkas House, having a great barbecue. It's going to be fun and a lot of outdoor games. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you come. I can't wait to see you guys there. But I'm really looking forward to this podcast and this video version as it will help you to grow closer to Christ and understanding. As you guys know, but maybe you're new and you don't know, the podcast exists so that you guys can re-listen to Sunday night's lesson. I recap it. I talk about why I said what I said, why I put what where and what not, and it will help you guys to catch things that maybe you missed, because if you're anything like me, you're going to miss things on that Sunday night. So this is your way to hear and now watch and see the message and the lesson from Sunday night, so you can recap it and you can catch the things that you might have missed. This year, we are going to be focusing on a visual guide to the Bible. We're going to be talking about why the Bible was written, how the Bible was written. Was the Bible really full of errors? Can we trust the Bible? How the Bible changes our lives? How we go from information to transformation. And that's the goal with the Bible. So if you've ever had those questions, or maybe you've been asked those questions yourself, hey, why do you trust the Bible? Why do you read such an ancient book? It's not relevant to today. It's full of errors. It was made by man. It's man-made. We're going to answer those questions, and I'm going to give you answers and show you how you can formulate answers to your friends or even to yourself about this subject of the Bible, because the Bible is not full of errors. The Bible is relevant to today, and the Bible was written and inspired by God Himself, and it has a lot of application for our lives that will transform us to be more like Christ and to live in this world like Jesus did, showing love and bringing hope to our neighbors and to our friends. So I'm looking forward to this series on a visual guide to the Bible. But with that, we're also going to be sprinkling in a couple of different standalones on mental health, how we honor God in mental health through death, suffering, and loss, and a ton of other things. I also want to do this little thing. I implemented a question box with our Purple series last year. I want to bring the question box back where you guys can submit your toughest, your hardest questions on any subject that you want answered, and I will try to put together a lesson on answering a couple of these different questions. It could be on anything on drugs, sex, alcohol. What's the biblical response to this? How do we Christians, how do we respond to the LGBTQ community? Things like that. I will answer any of those questions, and I want to help you to find answer to these questions as well. Maybe you've been asked these questions, or maybe you have asked these questions. So I'm going to call that series the Tough Questions series, and they're just going to happen randomly. I'm going to put out on Instagram or Facebook, a place where you can comment and put your question in. And if you want that question answered privately, I can do that as well. But if not, it will come out on a Sunday night in front of all the youth. I won't say who asked it, but we will answer that in front of everyone, because you might have a question that all 30 of the other students have as well. So don't be afraid to ask. I love questions. Questions are a really good thing, and I never want you to stop asking questions because they're really, really good. So that's what our year kind of looks like in a small little glimpse. We're going to be talking about a visual guide to the Bible. We're going to be talking about your toughest questions and about mental health and about loss and death and suffering, because we all, if we haven't already, went through some sort of loss, death, or suffering in our lives. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to be real about it. But on top of that, we're going to have a lot of fun, right? We have some great programs planned that you guys can come on out, invite your friends, and have fun. We're going to try to have a meal for most nights, so come hungry. I'll let you know if there's not a meal, but I'm looking forward to the 2019 to 2020 calendar in this year of what God's going to do in our lives. Now remember, with that calendar, it is tentative. Things tend to change with planning a year in advance, especially with me. We're having a baby here in this next year, so things are going to ultimately change. So just make sure you you follow us on Instagram or join our Facebook group. If any of you are on Facebook, you grandma, I don't know. But if you're on Facebook, join our group. Follow us on Instagram, ignite_youth_FBC, so you can stay up to date on Instagram on what's happening, if events canceled, if there's a meal, or how you're supposed to dress for the weather, or dress to impress, whatever you want to do. Come on out with that. So you need to follow so you can stay up to date. Subscribe to this new YouTube channel so you get the weekly videos, and periodically I'll upload other videos of something that God's laying on my heart that week. Or if you want a video segment done, say, man, Aaron, I'm really struggling with prayer. I don't understand prayer, but we're not going to cover it this year in our lesson time. But I could do a video series, a 2 video series on prayer to help you guys learn more. So if you have any subjects that you want covered here on this YouTube podcast channel, make sure you comment them, send them to me in email or DM me on Instagram, and I'll make sure that happens at some point during this year. So I'm looking forward to growing with you guys in 2019 and 2020, and I'm really excited to see what God's going to do through you and through me and at Ignite Youth. I can't wait to see you guys this Sunday, September 15th at 6 o'clock at the Badulkas House. If you need the address, message me. I'll get it to you. We're going to have a lot of fun, finger blasters, barbecue, outdoor games, all of it. It's all going down. It's going to be a blast. Come on out. It's going to be fun. Subscribe to this channel. Follow us on Instagram, and even subscribe on Spotify, on iTunes, or Google Music, whatever you use. Peace and love, guys. Can't wait to see you. Have a good week.